Hello and welcome to Nothing Fancy. Today I'm going to show you how I made an auto body Apprentice toolbox for less than $1,200. My name is Matt and I'm an apprentice and paint prepper at an automotive collision center. Been doing this for a little over a year. Let me show you what I got. Okay, coming up first is the box itself, and I went with the 5-drawer mechanics cart from Harbor Freight, made by US General. And I went with this box for several reasons. One, these boxes are really popular. They have really good reviews, and not only are they a decent quality, but they're also a pretty good price for what you get. I think I paid like $189 around-ish after I used a coupon. I have another cart just like this at the house that I've had for a couple of years. It's held up pretty good, and I even got a 4-drawer. There's several the technicians here that use US General carts, whether it be the 5-drawer like this one. There's some full service banks carts here as well, and they hold up well and they look good. And so that's enough for the box. I'm going to take you into the top of this thing and start showing you some of the tools that we got inside of it. So coming into the top of the box here, this is where I keep my sockets and a lot of the tools that I use pretty often. So I'll start with the sockets themselves. Everything I have up top here is metric. This is made by Quinn, and I got this as part of a master technician set. It's like a 428-piece set on a Black Friday deal at Harbor Freight. All of this comes with a lifetime warranty. It came with the sockets. It came with 3 different ratchet wrenches. I even got some regular crescent wrenches with the ratcheting ends on them. Those are super handy. Got various sizes of those. It came with some basic screwdrivers, some Phillips head screwdrivers. Got a couple of flathead screwdrivers, and it even came with some, I'll show you in the bottom here, some standard sockets. I don't use these a whole lot, that's why I don't keep them in the top of the box, and plus just to kind of save on some room. But this thing really came with a lot of pieces. Came with some 12-point sockets, came with some specialties like some little T sockets, some flatheads, some Allen keys, some extensions, and got different extensions. Got some straight extensions, but we also got some of these pivoting extensions where you can kind of pop the socket up a little bit and it'll give it just a little bit of wiggle room for some of those kind of hard to reach areas. It even came with some more Allen keys and some different bits and stuff. So it's a really useful set, really universal set, and I highly recommend it, especially with the lifetime warranty. These things are going to last, and I'll be honest with you, man, I abuse some of these a little bit and put them on impacts and have had no issues with them whatsoever. Another item that you are going to use very often is clip pliers. You're going to have a ton of clips. These were actually a pair that was given to me, but I will show a picture where you can get these off of Amazon. I think they're like $20. Just a universal pair of clip pliers. These are not only good for getting some of those pesky clips, but if you have some stuck electrical connectors or just some stubborn electrical connectors, these are good to reach around there and pop them things off. And I even got a specialty one as well. Highly recommend getting you some good clip pliers. T screwdrivers. You're gonna use these for door handles. These are the Pittsburgh. The only thing I don't like about this particular set that I have here is they're not marked, so you kind of have to guess as to what size you have. But you're going to use these with door handles, and sometimes just it's a little bit quicker to grab the screwdriver versus to grab the socket and try to put it on an impact and do it that way. These are really cheap. Once again, lifetime warranty. Love Harbor Freight. Next on our must-haves, pry bars. You're going to need pry bars, especially for doing suspension work, for holding back on things, or something you just kind of need to get a little bit more torque in there. These are made by Pittsburgh. It's not wrote on the handle anywhere. I think it's wrote on there it is. Made by Pittsburgh. These were really cheap, and I really like this set of pry bars. Power tools. I went with the Hercules. Why did I go with Hercules? Well, because it's affordable. And it's pretty good reviews. And got a drill. You're gonna need a drill. Drilling out rivets, things, obviously. Impact driver for screws, putting self-tappers in, all sorts of different things. Don't use these a whole lot, but when you need them, you got them. Now what I do use a lot is this old gal here, which is a 3/8 impact driver. I got this one for free too, because the battery, 5 amp, 20 volt battery. really good deal. I really like this tool. It's really powerful, but it's also got 3 different modes. You can put it on the automatic mode. It'll keep you from stripping out your bolts, and really handy. Next up is the holy grail of power tools, and that is the electric ratcheting wrench. This is Hercules, extended reach. This is a very universal tool. This is going to cut a lot of your work time in half. Everybody needs to have one of these. If you don't have one of these, do yourself a favor and go get it right now. Another useful tool is this double flex ratchet wrench made by Pittsburgh. This is one of their more affordable lines, but this tool did come with a lifetime warranty, and it does actually feel pretty good. It feels like a solid little wrench, and it does have the lock, so it'll hold the sockets on there. Headlamp helps a fella see whenever he's under a car trying to work on suspension. This super handy. I have tried to use the magnetic lights before and just kind of stick them up in the car, but sometimes it's kind of hard to get those lights in there and to get them situated just how you need. Whereas this headlamp, this is one that is adjustable, and it does have some different settings there, and it's actually, you can kind of broaden the lens or kind of make it more focused in. Super helpful. This one's runs off of batteries. I think they make a rechargeable one, and if I had to get anything else, I probably would go with the rechargeable version of this, but this one just takes 3 AAA batteries. Non-mooring pry tools. These are super useful for helping get off any type of panel that you're trying not to dig into the car or scratch, or something where a metal tool would be a little bit too aggressive. I use these a lot for getting door panels off, and if you're prepping, I like these. This is a Pittsburgh set, got it on sale. You can, if you're in like a hard to reach area, so like a window sill, if the insurance doesn't pay to take the window out and you got to prep that area to get it ready for paint, you can take your red scuff or your gray scuff and wrap it over that and kind of jam it in those seals so that you can get a good scratch there so that the paint will stick to it. A pick set. I went with an Icon pick set. This is more of Harbor Freight's kind of top end stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Pittsburghs are just as good, and they're like half the price. The only reason I went with the Icon was just to say that I have something Icon in this toolbox, and I did get $5 off of it, so it wasn't a bad deal. And these are good for getting out sometimes little trim pieces, or in a lot of doors behind the door handle, there's a little cover there that holds or covers up a screw that holds the panel on. This is good for getting behind that and kind of popping it out without tearing up that little cover. Bring you in here and let you see the pliers drawer. I've got a small little assortment of pliers, but this is enough to get me by using these for trying to get to some hard to reach things, mostly hose clamps. I really use these a lot for hose clamps. Vice grips, you're gonna need vice grips for putting on new panels, getting something to hold while you got panel bond on there or seam sealer. These are super useful for holding those on while you let that set up. Next up, we have punches. You're gonna use punches for a few different things, for marking things that you're getting ready to drill at. If you wanna knock a little dimple in it so that you know where you're needing to drill at. I use these smaller ones for knocking out the heads of rivets. Sometimes it's a little bit easier than trying to waller out the entire head. You can kind of get started on a drill and then just take your punch and punch the rest of that rivet out. Another useful tool that you're going to use every now and then, don't use this a whole lot, but it is a circuit tester. These come in handy for testing out window regulators. So if you're trying to make sure that you got power coming into something, hook this up, and if it's got power, it's going to light up and you can kind of test some electronics using that. Super cheap, but very, very useful. Next is your die grinder. This is going to be a very well used tool. I have not used this one. This one's pretty new and I got a really good deal at Harbor Freight. They had the Chief deal where if you buy a full size grinder, you get a mini die grinder for free. Another one of the body techs here has this exact one. This is why I went with it. It's kind of Harbor Freight's higher end pneumatic air grinder, and the tech that has it has this exact one, swears by it. He's used it for a long time, so it's kind of stood the test of time. Get yourself a good die grinder. 1/2-inch impact, I went with the Earthquake, which is a pneumatic impact. This is a 1/2-inch drive. I got this for getting off lug nuts or doing some kind of heavy suspension work, something where you're going to need a lot of breakaway torque and you want something that's powerful. I went with a pneumatic versus doing electric just because it was so much cheaper to go the pneumatic route, and the pneumatic tools just have so much more power to me personally than the electric tools that they have out there. Not that the electric ones are bad. I have some that I use at the house that are electric 1/2-inch impact guns that work really well. But for the price, I got this for half the price of an electric one. I got it on a really good sale, and this has done really good for taking off lug nuts and again doing some kind of heavy duty removal of bolts. And of course, if you're going to have an impact gun, I recommend getting some impact sockets. Let's be honest, we all use the chrome sockets on our impacts, or at least most of us do. But I do like to use actual impact sockets if I'm taking off, or really pretty much if I'm using the pneumatic air gun. Just because I got these super cheap. This is a Pittsburgh set. I got like a 13-piece set, half off with a coupon, and it comes with a lifetime warranty. So just to have a little bit more peace of mind to make sure that your sockets aren't breaking and take better care of your tools, it's cheap enough. Just get the impact rated sockets. Hey, I actually have 2 Icon tools. This was actually a Christmas gift that my wife got me. Thanks, honey. And it's just a dead blow hammer. And obviously, who doesn't need a dead blow hammer? I mean, hear that? Pow! You can hit stuff with it, or you can hit somebody with it. Don't recommend it unless they deserve it. Now, if you're doing paint prep, this next tool is really your primary tool, but you're going to use this a lot anytime you're doing body work. And that's a sander. This is Baxter. I've had Baxter since I started. I think I bought Baxter like 2 or 3 weeks after I started and got it on a coupon deal. As a matter of fact, I think you can buy this exact sander now regular price for what I paid for it with a coupon. This has held up really well. Only thing I have to compare it to is Dynabraids that we have here at the shop that are pretty warm. The only complaints I have with Baxter, the first one is when I first got this DA, it was a little bit jerky until it got broke in. The second, this DA will hide from you. Baxter? Baxter! Next primary tool for a paint prepper is a blow-off gun. And you'll use this too doing body work, mostly for blowing off the car after you get done sanding it to try to clean it up, knock some of that dirt off or some of that clear coat dust or primer dust, whatever it is. You can also use this to sweep out your stall. Why use a broom when you can just blow it out and mess your sinuses up and everybody else's? So there you have it. That pretty much concludes everything that I kind of think is a really good starting point for getting started in this business as an apprentice for somebody that's just trying to learn. The point really of this video is to show you that you don't have to go into thousands of dollars worth of debt to get those really big name brand tools like Snap-on or Mac or Matco. Not that those tools are bad, those tools are really good and they have a reputation for a reason, but they're also very, very, very expensive. I paid $1,200 for all of this and I use this stuff daily. It gets me by, and a lot of the techs that we have here, you know, you're not going to see them going on the Snap-on trucks or the Mac trucks or the Matcos as much anymore just because it's so expensive. And you'll see a lot of Harbor Freight tools flying around shops. Harbor Freight's really come up in their quality. They're very affordable, and the thing is, most of these tools, like all of these hand tools, lifetime warranty. If the tool breaks, you go into the store and you get another one. And you don't have to use Harbor Freight. There's several different brands. You saw some Amazon tools that I have here. There's cheaper tools out there that are good tools. They're quality tools. They're going to get the job done, and you're going to have fun using them. They're going to help make your job easier. I am thrilled with the tool set that I have here, and I'm in no debt. I'm not starting off a career tens of thousands of dollars into debt. So this is a video made for people who are interested in getting started into this business, and I'm kind of sharing with you my journey as I go into this business. If you're already a professional, you're probably going to be a stickler for some of those more expensive tools. But again, I'm going to say a lot of the techs here, again, they're not buying as much Snap-on or Mac tools. Even if they're going higher end, they're buying Milwaukee's or DeWalt's or stuff you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's. Don't throw your money away going into debt to get into this business when you can spend a fraction of the cost and get started and enjoy what you're doing. If you are experienced and you have some suggestions for an apprentice or somebody that's getting ready to get started, please put them in a comment section down below. If there's a tool that you think that I missed, it's good for a beginner to add to their toolbox. This is definitely not an all-inclusive list, but do be sure to share with us in the comments what those tools are. And if you like the video, I would appreciate it if you give us a like and a subscribe.